Have you ever felt like the more calmly you observe the world, the more distant you feel from it? Like the clearer your understanding becomes, the harder it is to explain it to anyone else? You're not imagining it. Stoic thinkers, those who seek peace through clarity, not chaos, have always walked a quieter path. Not because they were excluded, but because they quietly stepped back. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." But what he didn't say out loud is that most people don't want to hear that truth. Because in a world that rewards reaction, the person who pauses to reflect becomes a stranger. From Epictetus in chains to Seneca in politics, Stoics throughout history found themselves surrounded by people, but understood by few. Not because they lacked passion, but because they refused to let passion control them. But why does this distance form? Why does stillness often look like isolation? It comes down to what Stoicism actually demands. Most people live with their emotions in the driving seat. They react, they defend, they seek approval. But the Stoic sees through that. They step back, they observe, they ask, "Is this within my power?" And that single question threatens an entire way of life built on blame, outrage, and ego. This makes others uncomfortable, not because the Stoic is trying to provoke, but because their composure acts as a mirror. And when people see themselves in that reflection, they notice their own lack of control. This is what psychologists now call emotional contrast. When one person remains calm in a storm, it highlights the chaos in others. The Stoic doesn't mean to unsettle anyone, but their presence reveals how easily others are shaken. And society doesn't always welcome that. Think about it. When someone flaunts wealth, people may envy them. When someone shows strength, people might admire it. But when someone displays emotional discipline, true inner mastery, it makes others question themselves. And most would rather avoid that kind of self-confrontation. That's why Stoic thinkers are often misunderstood. They're mistaken for being cold, distant, or indifferent. But in truth, they simply refuse to be swept away by every tide. They don't argue for the sake of winning. They don't cling to control. They don't chase praise or panic over criticism. Instead, they return to reason, to virtue, to what can be controlled. This internal compass makes them seem detached in a world addicted to noise. And that's why many Stoic thinkers find more comfort in solitude than in shallow conversation. They'd rather be alone with honest thoughts than surrounded by empty noise. They crave depth, not drama, reflection, not reaction. But this solitude isn't a curse, it's a choice. Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." And when that's hard to find, the Stoic turns to books, to nature, or to silence itself. Because silence doesn't lie, it doesn't flatter, it simply reveals. In today's world, Stoic thinkers face an even stranger challenge. Modern culture runs on outrage, quick judgment, and emotional overexposure. Social media thrives on instant opinions and hot takes. But the Stoic, they pause, they wait, they ask, "Does this matter? Is this necessary?" And by the time they answer, the world has already moved on to its next distraction. But that's okay. Stoicism was never about fitting in. It's about standing firm, not rigid, but rooted in principle, in character. So yes, the Stoic path can feel lonely, but it's not empty, because while the world chases approval, the Stoic chases virtue. While the world avoids discomfort, the Stoic grows through it. And while others seek to be heard, the Stoic learns to listen, first to themselves, then to the world. If you've ever felt like you don't quite belong in the noise around you, if you've ever wondered why your calm is seen as strange, know this: you're not out of place. You're just ahead of your time. You've chosen clarity over chaos, depth over distraction, purpose over popularity. And in a world that fears quiet minds, that is your strength.